What is up, everyone? We're back again with another Blu-ray and 4K update. This is basically what it says on the tin. I'm just showing off all the Blu-rays and 4Ks I've bought in the last few weeks. I've got 12 titles here, 7 Blu-rays and 5 4Ks. It's not the biggest update I've ever done, but it's definitely not the smallest. So let's just get into it, because that's what you're here for. Now, this first movie was in the 2 for 30 offer on Amazon. And I'm surprised that the movie I'm going to show next was in the 2 for 30 as well, because they're quite fairly new movies. So I was quite surprised, so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to grab them. And the first one is Le Mans 66, otherwise known as Ford vs Ferrari in the US and some other countries, I think. Now, I heard great things about this. I missed it at the cinema last year. By the way, guys, if I had my YouTube channel back then, I would have made sure 100% I would have went to see it to review it. But yeah, I just missed out. A lot of things were getting in the way. And I really enjoyed this film, guys. It's a great true story about Christian Bale's character, Ken Miles. And he has to drive for Ford in the Le Mans 66 and beat the Ferrari race car team, who have just dominated for the past few years. And the odds are really stacked against them. But it's a great true story. Even if you don't like motorsports or cars, you can really have a good time with this, because I'm not really into cars, to be honest. And yeah, I just had a really good time. It kind of reminded me of the movie Rush, you know, where I expected to not really like it because of the subject matter, but I did. So yeah, it's a great film. I really like the way James Mangold directed this, especially the final third, you know, where the race takes place. Looked fantastic, great cinematography, and yeah, you know what, my fiance hates sports and she really enjoyed this as well. So yeah, there's Le Mans 66, guys. Definitely check it out if you haven't. This is the next one in the 2 for 30 offer. Splits opinions, this one. I actually see a lot of hate more than, or I actually see a lot of negatives compared to positives for this film, but I'm on the positive side. I actually enjoyed this, and that is Terminator Dark Fate. Definitely the best one since the second. I can understand why people have a bitter taste in their mouth. I won't ruin anything, but if you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. But I really enjoyed this film, guys. I like the direction they went. The last three weren't great, especially Genesis. I hated that movie, so I'm glad they just sort of boycotted them and just went as a direct sequel to Terminator 2. The return of Linda Hamilton was amazing for me. She's one of my favourite movie characters ever, Sarah Connor. And I just really enjoyed it. Definitely the best villain since the T-1000 by a mile. He really was one of the best things about the movie for me. And Mackenzie Davies' character as well, or Mackenzie Davis, should I say. Her character was spot on, you know, I like that little twist he done there. I really enjoyed this film, guys. I will watch it again. I haven't watched it yet on 4K, but I did go to the cinema to watch this. But I haven't checked the 4K out yet. I'm sure it looks fantastic. This was in the 2 for 20 offer on Zoom, I think. And that is Bad Boys. I watched this a long time ago, didn't like it. And then I watched it in January in preparation for Bad Boys for Life, and I really enjoyed it. It really took me by surprise. I was just expecting a generic action film, because I couldn't remember anything about it. But these two are great on screen, Will Smith and Malcolm. I forgot his name. Oh my god. Martin Lawrence. Sorry about that, guys. Memory jar there. But yeah, I really had fun with this. I love the theme tune in this. But I got that, and of course, you can guess what's next. I got Bad Boys 2 as well. Just the 2 for 20. I didn't own these on Blu-ray, so I just thought it's the time to pick them up. And Bad Boys for Life is out this month. I just haven't picked it up yet. Hopefully I'll get that by next month. Don't know. I'm not in a desperate rush to watch that movie again, but I don't think this one is as good as the first or the third. I think this is definitely the weakest, but I still had a good time with it. I just think Michael Bay over directs the action sequences in this. I mean, there's a 10-minute chase that really grinds me gears in this movie. And it's just Ferraris and Lamborghinis blowing up everywhere for the sake of it. It's not actually entertaining after a couple of minutes. It's just the same thing for 10 minutes. Yeah, I think he needs to work on his directing a little bit sometimes, especially his action set pieces. But yeah, Bad Boys 2, guys, 2 for 20, not bad. This was a first time watch for me. By the way, guys, there's only one movie in this pile I haven't seen, but this was a first time watch for me this month, and I was so behind on it. Everyone else seemed to have watched this except me, and I finally got round to it. I'm ashamed to say that I only watched it for the first time this month, and that is John Wick. It doesn't come with a slipcover, but I'm not really that bothered, to be honest, about slipcovers. If I started obsessing over slipcovers, then it'd take over my life, because sometimes films come with them and sometimes they don't. But I don't really mind, I don't really care. It's just a fantastic film. I really enjoyed this one. Kind of reminded me of Extraction, but obviously this was here before Extraction. And Keanu Reeves is just badass in this, you know, just taking people out left, right and centre. Really well directed as well. Love the whole like black and white sort of thing that's going on, mixed with a lot of colour obviously, but that's the main sort of theme, colour theme for this movie. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to watch the second one. I'm definitely going to pick 2 and 3 up at some point. This is the movie I haven't watched this month, guys, and it was by far the dearest movie I picked up this month. I think it was £18, and that was the cheapest I could find it. And that is Eraserhead. It must be out of print or something. A David Lynch movie. I'm a big fan of David Lynch. Well, I'm not a massive fan, but I've recently become a massive fan. If I was a massive fan, I would have watched this by now. But I only recently got into Lynch last year, and I've loved every single one of his films. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Heard mixed things. You know, I put like a picture of this up on the Big Paulie Facebook page, and a lot of people were giving me mixed reviews on it and stuff, or mixed thoughts. So I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I just haven't got around to that one yet. I have seen every other movie in this list though, in this pickup. The reason I picked this next one up is because I used to watch it on DVD quite a lot. And after watching Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation and Fallout this month, I was just on a bit of a Tom Cruise high. So I picked up Collateral. If you haven't seen this one, guys, it's basically Tom Cruise, who's a hitman, and Jamie Foxx has to drive him around to all these different, you know, destinations where he has to take people out. It's quite an enjoyable movie. I think Michael Mann directed this. Yeah, he did. And yeah, it's just a good movie. You know, good Tom Cruise film. I picked this up for really cheap, so I thought, yeah, why not? Add it to the collection. Might watch that again soon. This one I watched on Disney Plus, and I thought, you know what? I'll just grab that for my collection, because it's worthy to be in there. And that is Lady and the Tramp. Just a good little animated movie, really. A good little feel-good film. You know, I think most of you know the story about this. But, yeah, it's just about a dog that's quite spoiled and lives with this rich family, and she sort of meets up with this street dog, basically. Yeah, you know, it's just a typical Disney story, isn't it? And yeah, I watched the live one after this as well. I think I prefer this one to the live action one. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. You know, just Disney, isn't it? Next up is, I own the first two, and I watched this for the first time this year in preparation for The Invisible Man, because Lee Whannell directed it, and that is Insidious 3. This film really took me by surprise, guys. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very clever. I just thought it might have been another, you know, generic horror movie with loads of jump scares, but I thought a lot of thought went into this, and I think Lee Whannell is definitely one to look out for the future of horror, because I haven't seen Upgrade, but I've seen this and The Invisible Man, and I enjoyed both of them. I feel like this is a bit of an underrated movie, actually. I'm going to have to pick the fourth one up. That's the only one I don't own. Next up is a movie I picked up really cheap, but I was trying to pick up movies this month, guys, that I'd already seen, because my list of to watch Blu-rays is just insane. So I picked this one up because I'd already seen it. It was really cheap, and that is San Andreas with Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rockin'. Basically just a disaster movie. I went to cinema to see this when it first came out, and I enjoyed it. You know, it's pretty average, but I could watch it again. Just good to have in the collection, really. The only thing about this movie is the city seems really, really empty. And I know that's I know this, if a disaster was going on, people would, you know, run for their lives, but I do think there'd still be a few people around, and it just seems like they're in this totally empty city. But yeah, it's still a good movie. I enjoyed it. Next up is a movie I remember nothing about, but I actually went to cinema to see it. The only thing I remember is a scene in the kitchen where time is slowed down, and that is X-Men Days of Future Past. I think it's this one anyway. I watched the trailer just before this video to make sure it was that, and that scene was in there. But I do remember liking this film. I just can't remember too much about it, but I remember liking it. One of the very first dates I went on with my fiance was to see this. I just thought I'd get it for my X-Men collection because I own them all up to first class. I don't own Apocalypse or X-Men Origins either, so I just thought I might start building my X-Men collection up a little bit, and this was really cheap as well, so I just picked it up. And last is not a movie, guys, it's a TV show, and I've been picking these up now and again over the course of the last few months. I just decided I want them in my collection, and that is Breaking Bad, the final season, part 2. Yes, they had to put the final season in 2 Blu-rays to make more money. This is definitely the best part of Breaking Bad for me. You know, definitely these last few episodes are definitely where it really goes up a notch and goes into the extreme, you know, with the villains like Jack and stuff. That I just think they're really bad people. But yeah, you know, I'm not Breaking Bad. I do like it. I thought it was a great show. I think it's slightly overrated. I've seen way better shows. People say this is the best show of all time. I do disagree with that, but I'm gonna go through all this again one day because my fiance's never watched this, so me and her are going to watch this one day, the whole show. And if it ever goes off, I've got them on Blu-ray. I think I've got 3 more of these to get and I'll have them all. But they go for really cheap anyway. And that is it, guys, for this Blu-ray and 4K update. Hopefully I'll have a few more titles next month because the shops are meant to be opening halfway through June. So I'm just going to go crazy in HMV and CEX and stuff. So hopefully I'll have a few more titles by then. I might make these every couple of weeks instead of every month. It just depends how many titles I pick up. So thank you all for watching, guys. Take it all easy, and I'll see you all in the next video.